You've finished your first body recomposition phase or your cutting phase. You're now lean. You've got the six-pack you desired. You look aesthetic. You're happy, but you realize you need more muscle. So you need to go and acquire that muscle, but you don't want to do a dirty bulk because you don't want to look like how you used to, maybe 18+% body fat, and all the discomfort and the lack of real, enjoyment in how you look would really disintegrate if you go to it. So a lot of you will get lean when you've been fat, and the thought of gaining will repulse you. Trust me when I say you need to go through this phase of cut and gain and cut and gain to get the true physique that you require. I made a video on how much muscle do you need to actually get jacked, and I've added over my time around about 8 kilograms of lean muscle mass. Probably I'm definitely going to do another gaining phase, but of course we still want to be athletes at the end of this. So we're just going to speak some tactics we use to achieve this. This is around 6 months worth of work, about 5 kilogram difference between the two photos. So as you can see, a very steady rate of gain. Abs are still looking respectable, but a lot fuller across the chest delts and the arms, which is exactly what you're after. So let's roll into the video. If you're new to the channel, by the way, my name is Tom Sergi. I run the Gorilla Platoon, which is an online physique transformation program where we get results like this each and every week, and then we just speak about them online. So let's get straight into this. Adjusting calories for a lean mass gain. The first thing we need to do is structure the gaining phase and work out, well, what is our rate of gain that we're after, and then how much do we need to increase by if we're not seeing that rate of gain. Because if we don't track, God forbid, you're never going to know your ass from your elbow. I remember I used to do gaining phases, weren't really gaining phases when I was younger, and I wouldn't track the amount of food eaten. I wouldn't even track the workouts done. I wouldn't even weigh myself. You haven't got a hope in knowing if you're making any progress. So I'm going to assume you are tracking scale weight, food, gym floor performance, and let's also say output and sleep as well if you're serious about this. It doesn't take too much. You can get apps, MyFitnessPal, whatnot, to track all that. Buy a set of weighing scales, lives in your bathroom. You wake up in the morning every morning, have a piss, and you weigh yourself in. If you've done the recomp phase or the fat loss phase, you'll be all over that anyway. So I'm going to assume you have. Now, for the rate of gain is going to depend on the size of you. So for me, anywhere really, so you got from 0.25 to 0.5 of the percentage of your scale weight per week. In a fat loss phase, you can look to drop around 1% of the scale weight per week. In a gaining phase, you're looking at 0.25 to 0.5%. For me, I'm probably closer to the 0.25. Right now, I'm peeled, shredded, ready for a photo shoot the weekend, and I am sitting at just under 74, so I'm not weighing too much. So I don't need to be towards this upper threshold here. But if you're a bigger guy, you're going to be towards that 0.5% per week. If you're a smaller guy, towards the 0.25%. Of course, it's not like black and white. There will be a sliding scale of this of where you sit through. Upper end of this is compared to the visuals. You shouldn't see lines fade too quickly. And what this means is essentially, if we look at his midsection, we shouldn't see these start to disintegrate too rapidly. If we do, then ultimately we're not going to be able to. We're overshooting our mark. The way I really want you to frame this is, don't frame it as bulking, frame it as an improvement phase. You're improving muscle tissue. You're not just getting heavier for the sake of it. Otherwise, yeah, sure, don't track anything. Go smash a load of high calorie foods every day. You'll gain weight, not a problem. It's not about that. It's about your ability to gain muscle. Where is muscle built? Well, it's not built from the food you eat. It's built from the performance in the gym. However, the food is there to support the performance in the gym. So if you go in the gym and you're pressing 40 kilograms on your flat dumbbell press for 8 reps, when you eventually make it to 10 reps, those 2 extra reps, fresh air didn't move them. Obviously, it's fucking heavy. So your new muscle built them. However, you need the energy demand to be able to push through that next level. And then, of course, the replenishment of your fuel sources after through food, and most importantly, your sleep that evening. So look at this as in an improvement phase. Your goal is to go into the gym in the best position you can be. You've slept well, and you've eaten well, and you've hydrated well. That's what the surplus is doing for you. You smash the gym, you beat what you did last time, making the body do something it's not done before to look a way it's never looked before. You get out the gym, you eat the nutrition you need to, but you sleep. You recover the crater you just dug in on your body, so you can then replenish and grow. Don't just look at the scale weight and trying to be stuffing loads of food in. You'll gain, sure, but is it muscle? No. Weigh yourself daily for more data. Even in a gaining phase, track all calories, weigh everything, weigh your body, weigh your food. As a non-negotiable, if you're serious about this, I know you're going to be in a gaining phase for about 8 months if you've dieted down to the lean level to begin with. and this may seem quite meticulous, you'll be able to eventually just understand how much food you're eating. But honestly, I personally like to know. I like to weigh everything out daily. I like to weigh myself daily, so I know. Data is ultimately going to drive decisions, and that's what's going to get you towards the goal. And you're going to be able to look back at the data because at different times of the day, you're going to look different sizes. Right at the end of the night, you're full of carbs. You've trained. You probably look the best you do all day. You look at yourself in the morning, you're going to be flat as a pancake, and you're not going to look the same. So if you're constantly going off how you look in the mirror, you'll be chasing your tail forever, and you'll not know if you're making progress. Track and record data. Track your output as well, so you don't eat into that surplus. Now, when you are in the improvement phase, you're going to get your maintenance. You're going to sit just above it, 5% of the total calorie target. And if you go and do a high amount of steps, you went up a mountain or something, or you're out with your boys, and you just end up accruing a lot of steps, then the same way if you overate calories in a deficit, you're under eating when you're supposed to be in improvement phase. So you need to put that food back in. So that's why you need to track your output, your steps, and also cardio. 5% calorie increase when numbers aren't, I like the way I've spelled that, progressing, or the weight isn't going up. Weight isn't going up is your first and foremost factor. If you are getting stronger session after session, don't push your food up just yet, because you don't need to. However, if that started to stall, scale weight's not moved for 2 weeks, and then the last thing to go with that is your appetite will be through the roof, that is the green light. You are ready for some more food, increased by 5% of the total target, which I would do from carbohydrates first. How would I approach this? Around the workout nutrition to begin with, because the fuel was there to drive performance, which means it's going to need to be higher GI foods, maybe breads, maybe jams. In a gaining phase, so like in the dieting phase, we're looking at more like oats, we're looking at potato, because they're higher fiber, longer to digest. In an improvement phase, in the gaining phase, we're looking at things that will digest quicker. Rice, breads definitely, jams can work well. Those I like to keep it between those three, just so you're not eating heavily processed foods. Try to stay away from the cereals and stuff and the squares bars. I've eaten them in the past, work well, but just think of longevity and health. If you can choose, I'd say bread would be better than cereal. Obviously, oats would be better than bread. Potato would be better than all of those. Rice, just plain, will be better. You try to eat things as close to their natural form, just so you got longevity in the gaining phase. Now, once that's fill up and you can't really get any more food in around the workout, you're going to revert to away from the workout, specifically from carbs to begin with first. Now, it will get to the point where it's just so unpalatable to keep eating more rice and more bland carbohydrates. So you can look to increase fats then. That said, a lot of people will make it their go-to to just slap on the peanut butter, the avocado, the olive oils, and they'll do that as their go-to. So their fat will be really high to begin with. And while it's not inherently bad, your carbs are what's going to drive performance in the gym a lot more efficient, because you can digest them a lot quicker and use them a lot quicker. I'm not saying fats are great, and you should have a very, very healthy amount of fats within a gaining phase, 100%. You can get them up a little bit more in a gaining phase. You should be eating plenty of eggs, you should be eating plenty of red meat daily, absolutely. I'm all for it. But the little tricks you can do is, when you are struggling to get that trough of rice down, you just weigh out some olive oil, put it inside it, lubricate it, and allow you to get it down a lot easier. Not only that, it will also increase the overall calorie content of the meal itself. But use them as a tool. Do not deploy them day one, week one of your improvement phase, because it's going to be a long, drawn-out process. Use them when your appetite for more carbohydrates is really in the bin and you don't want to be pushing them anymore. The same way in a gaining phase, in the dieting phase, we don't pull your calories too low too soon, because where do you go from there? Nowhere. You're literally starving on no food. Performance starts to dip. So you can understand the message I'm saying here is everything is geared around your ability to train better in the gym. We're being smart in which foods we're eating so you can digest them well, so you can train better in the gym. We're deciding to increase food relative to our performance in the gym. We're eating foods after the workout to recover so we sleep better, to allow us to have better performance in the gym. The improvement phase is only built in the gym. Find the love of numbers progressing, big boy form clips that you post on your socials. Find the love from there. Don't find the love in your physique, because you're not as lean as you once were. That said, if you do it this ready state of gain, what you are going to really enjoy is, as you come out of the bottom of a dieting phase, you will fill all of your stores up, your glycogen stores. And as you do that, numbers will be improving because you've got more energy inside you. You'll look fuller, so you'll look better. And it's a beautiful, it's the best time of any phase. You've got, obviously, going from high body fat to low body fat. You've got like, you've got the back end of a gaining phase, start of a gaining phase. You've got the end of a dieting phase. I'd say the best time for a phase for your own morale is probably right at the end of a dieting phase, because you are lean, you look great with your top off, but you don't look that good with the top on. That said, when you come out the back of that, that is when you are in the best phase, and then eventually that will disintegrate, and you'll be the digging phase of a gaining phase, which is also pretty miserable. So enjoy this phase as you go through, and that's how you're going to approach a lean gaining phase. Not looking to throw away the physique too quickly, only pushing food when it's needed, and that's how you're going to do it in terms of an overall number. So thanks for watching. If you found this video of value, great, subscribe to the channel. If you want to come join us at the Gorilla Platoon and get results like this, there'll be a link in the description, and I'll see you on the inside. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow.